Last and final hadith about Mushaf Fatima. That Abdul Malik ibn A'yan said to Abi Abdullah, Imam Ja'far Sadiq. You always notice I'm saying Imam Ja'far Sadiq. Imam Ja'far Sadiq was at a point where he could be open about his deen. He had a hawza. He had students. I mean, Abu Hanifa and Malik ibn Anas were students of him. And they're 2 out of the 4 major schools of thought of our Sunni brothers and sisters. So if you see that majority of our narrations, will notice it'll come from Imam Bakr. First and foremost, Imam Ja'far Sadiq, the most. Abu Ja'far, which is Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, and Imam Musa al-Rida, and Imam Kadhim. So you'll see that from 5, 6, 7, and 8, that you'll see a majority of their narrations come from them. That Abdul Malik ibn A'yan said to Abi Abdullah that Zaydiyah and the Mu'tazila were circled around Muhammad ibn Abdullah. This is one thing I like, because you start hearing these terms when you read hadith, that you're like, okay, the Zaydiyah and the Mu'tazila. I didn't know what Mu'tazila was before. Mu'tazila is a school of thought. There's a school of thought that was in and around the time of our imams. So it's a certain school of thought, and of course the Zaydiyah, of course, the one, Shia school that believes in from the 5th imam down, or from the 4th imam down. He says, does he have any authority? Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Muhammad ibn Abdullah is in the circle with the Mu'tazila, Zaydiyah, and the imam is there. I swear by Allah, that they're trying to say, is this Muhammad ibn Abdullah? Does he have authority? Does he have authority? The imam says, I swear by Allah that with me there are 2 books, in which there is the name of every prophet and the name of every king that will rule on earth. No, I swear by Allah that the name of Muhammad ibn Abdullah is not in the list as one of them. I guess Obama's on that list. I think Obama's on that list, because basically what they're saying is anybody who has authority, like power, like a sultaniyat. So Barack Hussein Obama's on the list. George Bush is on that list too. That's scary. That Imam actually had to read the name George Bush. That's trash. Huh? So Al-Kulaini, which is the compiler al-kafi, this hadith comes from al-kafi. And Basar al-Darajat. And Allama Majlisi has graded the following hadith Hasan, good. But you notice it said that there's 2 books that we have. So another scholar, his name is Mazandarani. Mazandarani says, when he says, with me are 2 books, he says, perhaps it is Ja'far and Mushaf Fatima. Ja'far is another book. So he says, perhaps it's Ja'far and Mushaf Fatima. Now, the hadith about the Mahdi being from her lineage, Mahdi, narrated in by Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib. This is from a Sunni source now. We were with Salama, and we were discussing Mahdi. She said, I heard the Messenger of Allah say, Mahdi will be one of the descendants of Fatima. Al-Mahdiyu min waladi Fatima. Sunan of Ibn Majah. Again, top 6 books. Sunan of Ibn Majah. Sahih Sitta. Hadith number 4806, and it's graded Hasan by Hafid Abu Tahir Zubair Ali al-Za'i. Now let's move on to her death. The following hadith is from al-kafi. Ali ibn Ja'far, brother of Imam Kadhim alayhi salam, narrates from his brother, Imam Kadhim, said, verily Fatima is a siddiqah, truthful, and a shahida, a martyr. And the daughters of the prophets do not experience menstruation. Al-Kafi, volume 1, page 458, hadith number 2. And Sheikh Kulaini, in Al-Kafi, sometimes you'll see he makes personal statements. Majority of the time it's just hadith. Hadith number 1, 2, 3, 4. He's saying specifically under the section that Fatima was born 5 years after the Messenger of Allah declared his message. 5 years after he announced the prophethood. So did she died when she was 18 years old and 75 days old. She lived for 75 days after the death of her father. Aisha reported. Now we're going to Sahih Muslim. Aisha reported that the Messenger of Allah called his daughter Fatima. He said to her something secretly and she wept. He again told her something in secret and she smiled. Aisha further reported that she said, Fatima, what is that which Allah's Messenger said to you secretly and you wept, and then he said something secretly again and then you smiled? Thereupon Fatima said, he informed me secretly of his death, so I wept. He then again informed me secretly that I would be the first amongst the members of his family to follow him, and so I smiled. That shows that she had so much attachment with her father that it was solace to say, you're going to die very soon, and you're going to be the first one to see me. Somebody tell me I'm about to die and real soon. I don't know if I'll have that type of taqwa, you know? But she said, oh, you're gonna come see me. That's amazing. She smiled from a weeping to a fast smiling. That emotion. Just because the Prophet says, you're going to be the first one to meet me. Place of her burial. And I just found this hadith yesterday. It's not a hadith actually, it's an actual statement from one of our major scholars. His name is Sheikh Suduq. Sheikh Suduq, he makes a statement in another one of the four major books. It's called Man La Yahduruhul Faqih. Volume 2, page 572. Sheikh Suduq says, there is a disagreement in narrations of the location or the place of the grave of Fatima, women of the worlds. From the narrations, say she is buried in Baqiyah. And from the narration say she is buried between the grave of the Prophet and the mimbar of the Prophet. So if you ever get a chance, inshallah, everybody get a chance to go to Hajj. You gotta go to Hajj. You gotta go to Hajj if you can afford it. And your health. When you go there, it's an amazing feeling. I went 2 years ago. You'll see all of these things that they're talking about. You're seeing these. I saw that area, the area between the grave and the mimbar. They actually have a special carpet for it. Majority of the Masjid al-Nabawi is like a red carpeting. This specific area has green carpeting because it's called Rawda. Rawda al-Jannah, the garden of heaven. There's a lot of special things in this area. I don't know all the reasons, but could be possibly because Fatima the Zahra is buried there, among many other things. And of course, it's so close in proximity to the Prophet's grave. And of course, you can pretty much say salam and move on. You don't get a chance to really, and that's with everybody. It's not just only with Shias. If you go there, you'll see what happens with Shias at Baqi. Just to say salam and do ziyarah to your mom. Just to say salam. And of course, you see these people are doing the same thing with our brothers and sisters in Bahrain. Same thing. Last and final hadith. Fatima on the Day of Judgment. And this is just amazing. I had to put this hadith in because it's amazing. Fatima on the Day of Judgment. From Abban ibn Uthman, from Abi Abdullah, Imam Jafar Sadiq, said, on the Day of Judgment, Allah will bring together the awwaleen, the first people, and the akhirin on one plane. And then He will command for a caller to call out, cast down your glances and lower your heads, so that Fatima, daughter of Muhammad, can cross the bridge. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Cast down your glances, because Fatima is coming. And she's going to cross the sirat. He said, the creations will cast down their glances, and then Fatima will arrive seated on one of the high-bred camels of Jannah, followed by 70,000 angels. Then she will make a distinguished stop at one of the stations of judgment. Then she will dismount from the animal and take the shirt of Al-Hussein ibn Ali in her hand, saying, O Lord, this shirt belongs to my son, and you know what was done to him. There will be a call from Allah saying, O Fatima, you have my pleasure. And she will say, O Lord, help me avenge those who killed him. and Allah will command a flame from the hellfire to come out and capture the killers of Al-Hussein ibn Ali, like a bird captures or eats grain. How does a bird eat grain? I love the way the Imams speak because they make you see it. How a bird eats grain. So, fire will come and pick them up. Like a bird eats grain. Then the flame will return back into the fire and torturing them in it with various punishments. Then Fatima will ride the camel until she enters Jannah, and with her are the angels that follow her, and her descendants before her, and her friends, and from the people on her right and on her left. This hadith is from Al-Amali al-Mufid, Majlis number 15, page 130, hadith number 6. The grading for this hadith is muwathaq, meaning reliable or dependable. So brothers and sisters, let's do our due diligence and make sure that we are one of those friends alongside Fatima when we cross the Sirat on Yawm al-Qiyamah, the day of judgment, the day of regret, the day of account. And I mean, this means that we need to all do introspection. All of us, we know what our problems are. We know our good traits, and we all know our bad traits. We don't need to advertise it. We don't advertise what we do bad. This is not the conduct of a Muslim. But we all know what we have, our flaws. And what we can do to make ourselves better. So introspection is the key. Why do we have majalis? فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّ فَعَتِ الذِّكْرَ Surah Al-A'la. Surah Al-A'la. Chapter 87. And surely remembrance is beneficial. It's so beneficial. You'll notice that all the time you have class rules. You go to school, there's a class rule posted up. Why is those rules always there? Because you see those rules, and they'll keep enforcing those rules. If you get late, they'll give you a tardy slip. Why? Because they're constantly trying to remind you that you need to be prompt, you need to be prepared, you need to be ready. For class, if everybody's prompt and ready for class, are we prompt and ready for the day of judgment? And that's all I'm going to say. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.